Close your eyes, just for one quiet moment. Go back before retirement became your daily question. Maybe it is 1983, and the house feels slower. A television hums while paper bills wait nearby. Someone balances a checkbook at the kitchen table. Nobody in that room says safe withdrawal rate. You are worried about tomorrow, not age 60. Retirement feels like another person's distant problem then, almost fictional. Now open your eyes and look around today. That kid from 1983 is suddenly nearing retirement. The same kitchen table now holds statements, prescriptions, passwords, and questions you never imagined needing at this age. And one question returns after the house gets quiet. Is $500,000 actually enough to retire? Maybe. That answer feels wrong because numbers seem objective. But retirement never treats identical account balances identically. Picture two 60-year-olds retiring on the same morning. Both have exactly $500,000 saved. One owns a home outright, while the other carries a mortgage and years of payments every month. One has health coverage through a spouse. The other must fund insurance for years until Medicare begins. One lives on $40,000 yearly, while the other needs $70,000 each year to feel secure. Same balance, same age, yet completely different retirements. You do not retire on an account balance alone. You retire on everything that balance must support. Before this video ends, we will find one number that matters more than $500,000 today. Start with the life you expect to live, not somebody else's retirement ad. Write down housing, food, transportation, insurance, taxes, and repairs that never ask permission. Add travel, gifts, dental work, grandchildren, and family help continuing after paychecks stop. It simply removes the paycheck financing many of them. Your $500,000 stops looking like stored wealth. It starts behaving like a machine producing income. Morningstar's current base case research uses a 3.9% starting withdrawal rate for a 30-year retirement under its assumptions. On $500,000, that equals $19,500 during the first year. $500,000 sounds substantial sitting inside an account. $19,500 sounds smaller as yearly income. Retiring at 60 may require a longer horizon than this 30-year base case assumes for many people. Not, how much money have I managed to save? Instead, how much income must those savings create? BlackRock's 2026 research projected Gen X workplace plan balances around $404,000. That balance translated to roughly $17,450 of annual plan income. Yet, Gen X savers expected about $34,704 annually from those plans in retirement. Almost double. Balances feel larger than the income they can reliably support across retirement. At 60, retirement benefits are not available yet. You can generally claim at 62, but timing permanently changes your monthly benefit. For people born in 1960 or later, full retirement age is 67. Claim at 62, and monthly benefits can be reduced by as much as 30% for life. Permanently, now the choice becomes painfully human instead of mathematical. Take money earlier for portfolio relief, or wait longer for a larger monthly benefit. Health, work, marriage, taxes, and fear all get a vote in that decision. Will Social Security even be there when you need it? The 2026 trustees project full retirement benefits from the Retirement Trust Fund through late 2032. Without legislative changes, continuing income could then cover about 78% of scheduled retirement benefits. That is serious, but 78% is not zero. Social Security is not projected simply to vanish overnight. So panic cannot become your retirement income strategy. Neither can pretending the system could never change. A strong plan leaves room for uncertainty without surrendering to it. Now look again at age 60 on your calendar. There is another 5-year bridge sitting directly ahead. For most Americans, Medicare eligibility generally begins around 65. Retiring at 60 can create years of health insurance costs before Medicare enters the picture for many retirees. Coverage may come through a spouse, marketplace, or another arrangement, but somebody still funds it. And healthcare does not suddenly become free at 65. Fidelity estimates a 65-year-old retiring in 2026 may spend about $185,500 on healthcare. That 1% estimate assumes standard Medicare and still excludes potential long-term care costs. Let that sit. Now return to our two retirees with identical savings. Their $500,000 never changed, but everything surrounding that money changed its meaning. Spending, Social Security, healthcare, debt, and time determine how hard that balance works. Asking whether $500,000 is enough can point you toward the wrong answer. The better question is simpler and far more useful. What gap must your portfolio fill every year? Start with the annual cost of your real life. Then, subtract dependable income you reasonably expect to receive. Social Security, pensions, rental income, or part-time work may cover pieces of that annual cost. What remains is the gap your portfolio must carry. Imagine one household needs $50,000 annually. Later, dependable income provides $30,000, leaving $20,000 for investments to cover. Another household needs $70,000 yearly, while dependable income eventually supplies only $25,000. That portfolio faces a $45,000 annual gap before unexpected expenses even begin arriving. Same account, but different pressure and different future. Think of two identical cars traveling different roads under completely different loads. One road is smooth, the other climbs mountains carrying weight the driver never expected. The cars may match, but their fuel needs never will. Retirement works exactly like that with your savings. One household has room when something unexpected breaks. The other has almost no margin for surprises. A roof leaks, a child needs help, markets fall, health changes, or inflation stays stubborn. None of those events asks whether your spreadsheet feels ready. That is why strong retirement planning starts at the roots, not the leaves. The account balance is only the part everyone sees. The roots are spending, income timing, healthcare, debt, taxes, and flexibility when life changes. Weak roots can make $1 million retirement fragile, while stronger roots make less money durable for decades. You learn to solve the problem and keep moving. Work longer, help the kids, handle the parents, pay bills, and make another month work. That independence carried Gen X households through recessions, layoffs, family emergencies, and changing retirement systems. But retirement turns that strength into a strange psychological trap. You can solve today's problem by quietly borrowing from tomorrow. Tomorrow never calls tonight asking why you spent its money. That is why a retirement withdrawal can feel harmless. That is why claiming Social Security early can feel safer. That is why I'll just work longer can sound like a complete plan. But future you eventually receives every decision personally. And future you has fewer working years available to repair mistakes. Schroders found only 16% of surveyed Gen X Americans felt they had saved enough. More than half worried about outliving assets, helping explain why responsible savers still feel unsafe. But fear can also make expensive decisions feel protective. The goal is not eliminating every uncertainty before retiring. That is impossible. The goal is knowing which uncertainties your plan can absorb. Before asking whether you can retire at 60 with $500,000, answer 5 questions. What will your actual life cost each year? What dependable income will arrive, and exactly when? What must cover healthcare before and after Medicare? How much debt and family support still follow you into retirement? How flexible can your spending become when markets, inflation, health, or family plans disappoint you? Then calculate the gap, not $500,000. Your gap. If that gap is modest, $500,000 may work far harder than you expected. If that gap is large, even $1 million can still leave you frightened and exposed. That is why two equal balances create unequal retirements. You can understand the math and still feel unsafe. You can save responsibly and still picture yourself running out. That fear has a history inside Generation X and can influence what you do next. It is psychological. Why does Generation X fear outliving money after decades of trying to be responsible? That is exactly what the next video uncovers. Watch that next, because understanding the fear behind your decisions may protect your retirement alongside the numbers.